Today's recipe is for those days when you don't feel like going down to the market and getting fresh vegetables. This is a recipe literally out of your kitchen pantry. The name of the recipe? Khandwiyon Ka Salan. Let's begin. Khandaiya, Khandoya, Khandli, Katli or Dhokli. Well, these are different names for the Khandvi. But this is very different from the Gujarati Khandvi, the swirl that you get also in Maharashtra and Gujarat, and also very different from the Dal Dhokli, despite the name being very similar. You make this in a very, very, very easy way. The process could be a little lengthy, but you can also kind of master that if you can make the Khandvi in advance, which is the katliya. And whenever you feel like jumping into making the recipe, you can make the kadhi, drop it in, poach it, serve it. Simple. Let's begin. In a cold pan, let's begin with gram flour, a tiny spoon of turmeric powder, red chilli powder, salt, untoasted carom seeds, and finally, water. The water, of course, is to make a thick batter. Let's whisk this into a lump-free, thick batter. Now, when you say thick batter, I mean batter of coating consistency. Remember that all through the process, the flame is still switched off. Now, to quickly check the coating consistency, this is what should be achieved. And the flame gets turned on. Let's start mixing all of this, ensuring that nothing is stuck to the bottom or the sides of the pan. While stirring, you will now start realizing that all of this has started clumping together and also has cooked the gram flour. Well, this should be just about perfect. Let's turn the flame off, scrape the sides and the bottom. Once all of this has literally come together like a semi-soft dough, I'm going to grease this with mustard oil and transfer this cooked gram flour onto the surface. With the help of a tablespoon, just going to spread it like so. Take a little more mustard oil on your fingers and dab this while it is still warm. While doing this, just take care of not burning or scalding yourself. You can also press this with the back of a katori or a bowl. Just ensure all of this is pressed well so that this forms like a nice dense cake as such. Now, while our Khandvi is getting set, and like I said, this is very different from the Khandvi that you would have eaten otherwise. It's also known as surrichi vadi in Marathi. If at all, now this is just an added example, if at all you do not want to do this entire process, you can buy ready-made Khandvi and drop into the kadhi much later. And trust me, that's going to be a very different Khandwiyon Ka Salan, not this salan recipe as such, but nevertheless, a fantastic recipe. Now that the Khandvi is getting set, we need to cut it a little later. And while that is setting, let's quickly move on to the salan. Let's begin with homemade curd, some untoasted gram flour, basic couple of spices, turmeric, red chilli powder, garam masala, and last but not the least, some salt. Let's give this a good mix, ensuring this also becomes lump-free. And once that is achieved, we'll add in a cupful of water. This, of course, is at room temperature. Again, a quick mix, almost like a nice and thin buttermilk. Let's turn the flame on and add in a couple of tablespoons of mustard oil. Once the oil heats up, let's begin with fenugreek seeds, some cumin seeds, and chopped red onions. To this, let's also add in crushed ginger and garlic. Now to this, when the onions kind of just begin to turn golden brown in color, some kasuri methi, and along with this, the curd mixture, which needs to be stirred once. Allow this to simmer on medium flame for around 3 to 4 minutes. Once you notice that this starts frothing, you will lower the flame and allow this to now simmer for at least 6 to 7 minutes. Once that is done, I am going to cut the Khandvi into pieces of your personal shape and size that you prefer for your family and friends, and then you again poach it for a couple of minutes till the kadhi literally gets into the Khandvi and the flavor of the Khandvi gets into the kadhi, which is again very important. One little gentle stir without, of course, breaking the shapes, and this can continue to simmer for around 3 to 4 minutes. With this, off goes the flame, and finally, freshly cut coriander leaves. One quick little mix. Just the way I like it. With this, ladies and gentlemen, Khandwiyon Ka Salan is done and ready. And trust me, when you make this at home and when you taste it, this is reminiscent of a lot of recipes. This also kind of faintly remind you of gatte ki sabzi. It'll remind you of a Marwadi kadhi. It'll also remind you of Khandwiyon ka saag or dhokli ka saag or salan. But the beauty is this also could be a very humble precursor of an Italian pasta. I may be wrong, I may be right, I don't know. But it's on to us to start scratching history and to understand the legacy that Indian cuisine gets to the table. This is me, Varun, signing off. Bye for now.